Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. It's happy hour. This man needs no introduction. Comfortably Smug is here. Smug, this is a Smug Smash. Drink it. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Thanks for having me, Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, baby.
That's pretty good. What's in that?
Okay, so it's Great Jones Rye, a little Woodford Bourbon, Duke's Orange Liqueur, 2 shakes of orange bitters, pineapple juice, a squeeze of orange juice, and a little bit of grenadine at the bottom, and a tiny bit of lime juice to offset all the sweetness.
That's a good twist, like on an old fashioned. I like it.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, the Smug Smash is a twist on an old
Smash.
fashioned, but it's got pineapple in it. So it's a little tropical.
That's a keeper.
Yeah, right?
That's a keeper.
Okay, good. There we go. Because I was thinking, I almost made you a graveyard, and I was going to try and make you the grossest drink possible.
No, I'm glad you went with a good one.
Because I was going to do like tequila, rum, vodka, like a Long Island iced tea that would make you instantly barf. Because I haven't done that. I haven't yet on Happy Hour tried to make something absolutely disgusting. I got to save that for someone less delightful.
Oh, I appreciate you decided to go with the good drink. This is terrific.
No, this is a good drink, and I saw on your X profile you like whiskey, so I was
I'm
like,
a
I
whiskey
can't
guy.
do tequila.
Yeah,
for you.
this is great. Thank you. Cheers.
Man, I got to do Martha and the 5 layer. I better slow down. I can only have 4 or 5 of these before I broadcast. So tell me about the Ruthless Podcast.
Yeah.
It's you, Josh. I've been on Outnumbered with Josh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've met Michael.
Michael Duncan and John Ashbrook. We, in October, are going to hit 5 years.
No way.
It's already been 5 years somehow.
Okay, so you guys started before the election in 2020.
Yep. October 2020, we started our very first episode. We hit #1 on the charts, beat Pod Save America.
How?
I think it's because American people want someone who's fun and someone who's honest and isn't just reading, here's the lines some party head gave me, which is pretty much Pod Save's formula.
Yeah.
We have a ton of fun. We actually talk about the important things and provide analysis of where it's going because all of our backgrounds. Josh was a chief of staff to Senate leadership for Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Ashbrook is probably the most well plugged in comms professional on the planet, and I mean that is not going over trying to just make him feel good. Like he is connected to everybody. He gets ahead of the curve on the news. They call him the silent assassin in D.C. The way he's taken some Democrats out. He'll never brag about it. Yeah. But he's an assassin when it comes to working with the press.
If you can't be the silent assassin.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
A metaphorical assassin, which I feel like we have to.
Well, that's true. The times we're living. But Duncan he's a storied digital professional. He's done a bunch of campaigns, a bunch of wins, and me, who my claim to fame was being a troll on Twitter to Democrats and kind of like marshaling grassroots support to hold them accountable until, they couldn't ignore us.
So do you feel like you were one of the first disruptors in the modern social media age who really figured out how to use it for, I'm not going to say for evil, but for
mischief?
Yes, for mischief. That's a much better word.
So that's the thing is, I don't need to tell the folks listening to this, there was a dark age on social media where conservatives were essentially, if the powers that be wanted you banned, you were gone. Mm-hmm. They'd create all these rules to be like, essentially, how can we try to get all conservatives off our platform? I would very carefully read those rules, and I'd walk right up to the line and do everything I could to get people to make fun of the left, because there's no use in debating these people's ridiculous ideas. Yes. You should ridicule them. And so it caught on. Then you've got this grassroots army, we call them the minions of folks online who they got, they saw that there's this like happy warrior ethos online of where you can have fun holding these Dems accountable, making fun of them, and it just took off.
Yeah, and that's really like the art of around has really been lost in these serious times. And that's what's so sad, because around is really important. It's really important to screw around with your friends and have a great time. It's not wasting time. It's not immaturity. It is as necessary as self-reflection.
Yeah. So, a great example, one of the first, I remember, tremendous successes I had is Folks might not remember, but when Beto was getting ready to announce that he was running for president, he had a lot of Obama's former people Obama had already reached out to him.
Wow.
He was going to be like a juggernaut. Like as soon as he jumps in, it's going to be Beto. I caught wind of that, and I was like, how can we take this guy down a notch before he even gets out of the gate? And these photos of him, I think it was in college, came out where he was performing in like an animal suit in a band. And I said, Beto's a furry. And so I started just tweeting every response to his tweets, Beto's a furry. Other people saw this. He couldn't go anywhere without people started shouting Beto is a furry when he tried to show up in Iowa. Anywhere he went, completely wrecked his campaign before he even got started.
So, I mean, but that's like the brilliance of marketing, is like figuring out something that will latch, that will make purchase and catch on. And I think that would be the beauty of what you do.
Yeah. And and it's doing it in a lighthearted and fun way where, again, it's making fun of the Democrats because there's no sense in debating them.
And for so long, it was just accepted like, well, conservatives aren't funny.
Yeah.
Like, Democrats are funny. Liberals are creative. We'll never be that way. There's never going to be a late night conservative talk show. And that never made sense to me. Because,
now look at things.
Yeah, but although I'm a libertarian, I'm like, no, everyone likes to have a good time. Everyone likes to make fun of themselves. And we certainly like to make fun of other people the way we made fun of our brothers and sisters and bullies at school. So it's like, why can't we have that in everyday life? Why should we cede that critical territory to other people?
And it's so useful because here's the thing is, if you talk to people who have worked in politics, like actually in Capitol Hill or even in the White House, they'll tell you it's more like an episode of Veep, that comedy that was on HBO, than what was that NBC Martin Sheen drama, West Wing. Yeah, it's not like West Wing. It's a clown show every day, and so you should treat politics with the humor that it deserves. Yeah. And this got compounded as a problem by the left being like, well, jokes aren't allowed anymore.
Yeah.
And so when they're no longer allowed to have fun, and their rhetoric is essentially just opinions or violence.
Yes.
Who wants to be a part of something like that?
No, I think that's what people are figuring out. I mean, that's certainly what younger men have figured out. Okay, so in 2020, when you guys got together, October, that critical month, it's like we were well into the pandemic. Did you think that Trump was going to win?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. And we started our podcast. So like you said, the pandemic is going on. There were still lockdowns. Our studio is in DC, so it's not like we can go in and record episodes. We were on Zoom, and we would, after a work day on like Fridays, we would jump on Zoom, would pour some bourbons, would bet on horse races because they were allowed to race horses, right? But everyone isn't allowed to go into work, but you can race horses. So we're betting on the ponies.
You could drink and gamble,
exactly.
But you couldn't go to church or the gym.
And so, we would hang out, we'd talk over Zoom while we're betting on the ponies, and we're like, this would be a really funny show.
Yeah.
And turns out it was.
So if Pod Saves America, if they are Barack Obama's,
Pets.
Spawn, yes. Are you guys Trump's minions?
So here's the thing.
Are you beholden to any one leader of the Republican Party or the conservative movement?
We are beholden to only the idea of ridiculing the left and doing what it takes to ensure conservatives continue winning.
Okay.
That's what we are beholden to. And the thing is you never want to be beholden to an individual. I mean,
agree.
You look at what happened to Pod Save America, where so they've gotten an investment from Soros Fund Management, which has a board seat on that company. They're VC backed. Wow. And they were, the speech writers for Obama. So you're not actually having a conversation with someone. They're talking down to you. They're giving you talking points, right? When you listen to our show, it's like you just pulled up a stool and you're hanging out with your bar at the bar with your friends. Yeah. You're actually listening from people who are not like, well, we were speech writers for Obama, and we want to also get a Netflix deal like he did, so we have to say what is approved and put that talking point messaging out there.
Yeah, no, they are absolutely governed by committee, which has to suck.
Yeah.
When you are having a conversation and truly trying to dissect what is going on in the world and what is going to happen and where we go from here. So I was thinking about our conversation today, and all anyone can talk about is Charlie Kirk and what he meant, what he meant to the movement, and, what does this kind of assassination do to the conversation that we have and making fun of people. I mean, is this the kind of thing where his murder just stops the rhetoric and stops the violence and we have a massive reset? Or is this the kind of thing where people go, oh, that's where we are now? Well, guess what? I have a whole list of people whose ideas I hate. I feel justified in killing them now. Like, what does this really do to us, not as conservatives or libertarians or liberals or Democrats, but to the country and where this has landed us?
I started getting text messages from friends back home who don't work in politics or are not political, don't necessarily listen to even political podcasts. And they were so affected by this horrific event because there was a recognition, they said, that Charlie believed in the same things I did. They believe in God. They believe in a traditional American value. The rule of law, just what you think this country was founded on. And the eye-opening realization that not only he was murdered for that, but then to see there were professors and teachers and nurses who put out videos with their own face and name attached to it. They were that comfortable celebrating his death because he believed in the same things that my friends do. That's just been an eye-opening realization for them. And I pray so hard that this becomes a moment for the left to realize, okay, this is not fascism. This is not, because their mindset's almost like a doomsday cult. Like you go to the front page of the Washington Post, it says democracy dies in darkness across the top. Well, Trump just won the Electoral College and the popular vote. Democracy is doing great. I think we need to be worried about a left that has become only about violence. When they've said that words are violence, it's to enable violence against words they don't like.
Yes.
And that has to stop.
Yeah, it is a justification for that. And, to celebrate someone's murder, it just, that, I didn't realize that a pretty sizable, loud group of people would be capable of a massive lack of empathy.
And that's the thing. It's not some, kid in a basement who's in the dark doing dark things. And
no, they may have been
these are
gaming
professors.
And chatting on Discord. These are part of the intelligentsia. These are people who are shaping kids' minds.
Yep. And then to see it's teachers celebrating this.
Yeah, that
really... That you can be in a Starbucks and the person next to you is like that.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing. It's horrific.
Yeah, one of my daughters runs in pretty liberal circles here in New York City, and she was so shaken and sad by Charlie Kirk's death because, every kid on TikTok knows who he is, even if they don't agree with him. They can't stop watching the videos. And they respect anyone who has a debate with him.
Yep.
And, to see someone like that murdered, in such a public setting, in front of his wife, in front of his family, so heartlessly, that really shook her. And I thought that more people felt like my daughter. But I hope, as a person who believes in God deeply and believes in optimism and love, I hope this is a turning point.
Yep.
Where people go, we have to respect human life. We don't want that to happen to our family members. We don't want that to happen to people on our side. We have to stop seeing people who have a subtle difference of opinion as evil, because when you see someone as evil, they're no longer human, and they're such a threat that it requires, like, if we have literal Hitler running the country, then that has to be neutralized. And my hope is that people do turn away from that and turn back to what the most important thing is, and that's having a deep connection with one another, and hopefully with God as well, but you can't force people to do that, and I wouldn't want to.
I mean, what really horrifies me is the realization that after President Trump's assassination attempts, plural, attempts, they kept calling him a fascist.
Yes.
They kept it up. If that didn't make them have a pause and rethink what they're doing, I don't know what it will take. I don't know what it's going to take.
Yeah, but I don't want it to take anything else. Like, I don't want someone on the left to be assassinated. I really don't.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
I don't... It is not a justification, and that's what scares me, because there are unwell people all over this country.
But I think what really has to be confronted is it's so many things. It's at the top, you have Democrat leadership, who you saw Maxine Waters say, if you see a Trump supporter, you confront them. You don't let them get in their face. Chuck Schumer said that, like, we will hit you back. You won't know what hit you. You will reap the whirlwind. So their leadership is completely missing in trying to corral the radical elements of their party. And outnumbered, they showed in the opening of it, over 50% of Democrats in a poll said that violence could be justified against President Trump or Elon Musk. God. So it's not a tiny segment.
Yeah.
This is a left-wing radicalization problem and the dehumanization of conservatives.
Yes.
Of being like, well, if they're a fascist or they're a Nazi, then I'm allowed to commit violence against them. That has to be confronted.
Yeah, and also, the idea, well, someone voted for Trump. I don't want them to come to my Thanksgiving.
It's
like,
unreal.
but that's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
Yes.
That's it.
So let me ask you this, switching gears a little bit. So I am an unaffiliated voter. I'm an ideological libertarian. I've never been a member of a libertarian party. I'm a right-of-center libertarian. Are we a threat to conservatism?
No, not in the least. I think perhaps the biggest lesson to take from President Trump's massive victory last November is this is what you get when you expand the party. This is what happens when you have a big tent. When it's not about, oh, I'm trying to get as many Republicans to vote for me. When it's, I want the support of as many Americans as possible. You have Maha, which has joined the fold. You have RFK Jr. at HHS. You have Tulsi Gabbard, who joined. It's essentially become the sane people who said, I want law and order and I want my country back. I could not be more thrilled with this massive coalition that we have on our side.
So you don't have resentment toward libertarians?
Not in the
What
least.
about when they upset races, like in Georgia?
So that does get me. So
I saw Raphael Warnock at the DNC last year, and I went up to him and I said, how much do you love Chase Oliver? And he got really flustered. He's like, what? Why would you ask me that? And I'm like, because without him, you, my friend, would not be a United States Senator.
There's this great meme where it's this cartoon.
And I thought Chase Oliver was a horrible presidential candidate. And I was really disappointed. And I wanted to like him. And I met him and I talked to him. And I wanted him to want me. As a libertarian, as an unaffiliated voter, as a working mom, all that stuff, I wanted him to reach into my capitalist sphere and pull me onto his team. He did not do that. I did not vote for Chase Oliver. I thought he was awful.
Yeah. So there's this hilarious meme, and in the first cartoon panel, it's this little cartoon guy saying that, like, today I think I'm going to vote third-party libertarian. And he goes to the poll site, he votes libertarian, and then he looks at the results, and it says 999 votes for the Republican, 1,000 votes for the Democrats, 1 for the Libertarian, guns officially banned. And it's like, that frames the situation so perfectly, because occasionally you do have to see it as, because a lot of libertarians are extremely principled. And I love that, because without principles, we have nothing. But occasionally you have to see it as, what is the realistic lesser of two evils?
Well, I mean, Trump actually went to the Libertarian Convention and made his case, and
it
so
takes a lot of courage showing up there. You know, if someone's going to be wearing their clothes.
And he was booed, and it's like he knew that was going to happen, but he was like, "Hey, this is what I could do for you. I will free Ross Ulbricht the first day I'm in, and it was like the third day, but it was pretty freaking close.
Promises made, promises kept.
Exactly. But Chase Oliver didn't have that kind of outreach. And, it's like that's why I get frustrated with the Libertarian Party, because I feel like we can have these ideals. And, Spike Cohen is like, well, maybe we're not going to win national elections. So that's why he's focusing on local elections, which unfortunately in places like Portland, the radical left, the progressives have focused on the local elections. And that's where they have gained so much ground. And they have turned these cities into garbage heaps.
Oh, it's horrible. A couple of things. So famous libertarian Roger Stone said, losers don't legislate. It's important to remember that. Losers don't legislate.
Yeah. You
can't get anything done if you don't get the win. So you have to keep that in mind when you want to affect these cities. And like you said, you look at what has happened. So I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C. That's where the studio for Ruthless is based out of.
Do you live there?
I have a place there, but I live in North Carolina.
God's country.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Could not be more thrilled. I love it. But in D.C., it's almost like Trump waved a wand. And 2 blocks from... So I have, in theory, it's a safe place because the entrances to the building have armed guards 24/7.
Okay.
Right? There's like, the Chanel store and everything nearby. So it's supposed to be the good part of town. 2 blocks away is an open air drug market. You would see people buying and shooting heroin at 2 p.m. And then Trump said no, and it's all gone. It is unbelievable. We did a fantasy football draft the other week. I got home around midnight. I took a walk around the block. You didn't see a single person using drugs, selling drugs. You didn't feel unsafe. There was, I got 2 blocks from that location. There was a man was shot in the head before a hockey game.
Oh, God.
So it had gotten that bad, but Trump fixing that shows this is not something you just have to accept. It's not like, well, I live in a city, so that means it's got to be dirty and there's got to be crime.
Yeah, and carjackings and rape and...
It doesn't have to be
and
like
some
that.
statistics go down, thankfully. Like, you want homicide to go down, but then others, like, shoot up, and it's like...
And then you'd hear from the police that, like, I wouldn't trust these stats because we were told, okay, you have a felony
counting
assault.
This as a felony.
Bingo.
Yeah, this is now a misdemeanor.
Now it's a misdemeanor.
Hey, look, assaults went down.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so seeing that really show decline is a choice. And it's one that, with this example in D.C., it's one that we don't have to accept because for so long you were told, well, you move to the big city, you're going to get crime, it's going to be dirty. It's not like that. And of all places, the nation's capital, we should be proud that this is the capital of America.
We have to let these things happen because of systemic racism.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Like that, the whole trick of being like, it's not crime, it's racism, or, he's not a murderer, it's a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's a choice and we can have the rule of law and it's great.
When did you go blind?
So
was it as a child?
So
have you ever seen colors?
It's the funniest thing. So when folks see me, I wear the shades for folks who are just listening and not seeing the video. And it's when I worked at a hedge fund many years ago, and my account that I had on Twitter had to be a pseudonym. I wouldn't have my name attached to it because I could be drinking a Diet Coke and say, this is a horrible Diet Coke, and you'd have an investor be like, wait a minute, then why is the hedge fund long on Coca-Cola?
Yeah. We need to short that immediately.
So I made sure to completely separate that. And you know what? The shtick just hung around.
Yeah.
At this point, people just love it.
So.
And I am not blind.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I feel so much better because I just assumed. Where do you go with the bit, though?
So it's a wonderful thing in the sense that I can go to a Home Depot.
I am truly myopic. Like I cannot see without my glasses. If I wake up in the morning and I can't find my glasses, I am
so
like it sucks. And I've done that, and I've been like, feeling around the house, and I can't get LASIK because my pupils are too big, and it's like so I've worn glasses since 5th grade.
So I'm in a tough situation where one of the benefits of wearing sunglasses whenever I'm on air and on TV is people, it's like a Superman Clark Kent thing where once the recording's over, I take them off, I go in public and no one knows me. And it's so wonderful. I go to the grocery store, no one knows who I am. I go to Home Depot, no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
And then when I need to record, I put them back on. The other problem is, but if it's a sunny day and I don't want to be recognized, especially on like the streets of DC where just 99% Democrats,
What do you wear, like
I'm
a
just-
motorcycle helmet with a full visor?
It's just you got to put up with the sun. You're not throwing on the shades.
That's really funny. Is it true your name is Shawshank Redemption?
No, but I'm often called that.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great movie. What's your favorite movie?
That's a tough one. Boy, it's There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
Tremendous film. Tremendous film.
I drink your milkshake.
There's this theater in Cobble Hill in Brooklyn, tiny little theater. I saw it there, and it was the perfect place to see the movie. I think it was me, my sister, and like 4 other people. So it's actual film buffs. You're not going to hear anyone talking or anything. Absolute silence, and it's just like an incredible performance.
I don't think I've seen a movie in New York where people aren't yelling at the screen.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it because now you can get drunk at the theaters. Now you can recline, you can eat nachos, and no one cares. It's like yell away.
Full libertarian theater.
Yes, exactly. Although I can't stand, like, I am pro drug legalization. But this decriminalization is not legalization.
It's a bit
like
much.
They're doing it wrong by just like, oh, let's reduce harm by giving people heroin and
Yeah.
needles. Like, no, get them into rehab.
Yeah.
Like, give them mental health treatment and help them get better and live productive lives, and then they can pay taxes so I don't have to.
You know what my theory on that is?
Tell me everything.
So if you are a left-wing nonprofit and you end up being effective in getting people,
You're going out of business.
you're going out of business.
Yeah, I mean, that is the state of California.
Yep.
Like, why would they ever solve the homelessness crisis when Gavin Newsom's cronies are rich?
Yep.
Coming up like, well, we have a solution. Why don't we build homes that take 3 years each to build and $700,000, and then we'll never finish them on time, and then pretend that we're doing something? You know, Jesus is coming. Look busy.
It's too profitable to keep the bad things going. It's a horrific situation.
All right, Smug, I've kept you too long. I want to thank you for your time, your great sense of humor, your contribution to Ruthless and to humanity.
Thank you so much,
And
Kennedy.
continued success in solving all the problems and in your own way, saving the world.
Thank you so much.
To you, Comfortably Smug.
To you. Thank you.
And to your happy hour, this has been Kennedy Saves the World along with Smug. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.